back to Let Glory Shine. I am your host, Martha Glory, and I'm so glad that you're here. Today, I have a really incredible guest. I got to meet him through one of my friends, but also he's part of my community that I'm part of, Justin Danforth, who is a powerhouse, amazing speaker. He's also a coach. And I've gotten to interview him on this show as well. And he introduced me to the gentleman that you're going to get to meet today. And I'm really honored to have him. So I'm going to go ahead and bring him on. I'll give a short introduction. His name is Edward Scott. He's one of the founders of an organization called Wounded Warriors or Wounded Healers. It's a peer support organization dedicated to empowering individuals returning to the community after incarceration. Through Wounded Healers, they provide compassionate guidance, mentorship, and resources that help returning citizens rebuild their lives, develop essential skills, and discover their purpose beyond their past. Y'all, that is powerful. And this so aligns. Everybody that has watched my show knows that this aligns with who I am, who God's called me to be. And so I'm so honored to have you on my show. Welcome, Edward. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. It is so wonderful to be able to be here today and also be able to share my story. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm honored. I'm honored. So I don't even know your story. I've gotten bits and pieces from Justin, but I want you to just have the floor for however much time you would like. And I just want you to tell us your story.
Okay, I lived through one of the toughest and roughest cities in America, Brooklyn, New York. I'm from New York City. I was raised up in Brooklyn during the crack area. So oh man, it was rough growing up because me growing up in Brooklyn and seeing all the stuff that was going on in my community, I had allowed that to influence me to do the things that they was doing in the community. And that led me to do 29 years in prison. But I am so happy now that I'm out. I found purpose and also I'm helping others find their purpose through my experience. And I'm just so happy to be here.
Yes. Yes. Well, praise God, first of all. 29 years, that's half your life almost, maybe close, right?
Yes.
That's a long time to be incarcerated, taken away from your family, isolated, all of those things. How did you come out of 29 years and be like, I'm going to find purpose in this? Or did you find it while in prison like Justin did?
Yes, I found out while I was in prison. I told myself when I entered the Department of Correction that I would not come out the same way that I came in,
Mm,
with no sense of direction at all. Um, to back up a little bit, as I was saying earlier, I had allowed a lot of stuff to influence me to do a lot of wrong, a lot of bad things in life. So I told myself when I stepped through that door and that door closed behind me, and I had 29 years that I need to start working on myself, whether it be spiritually, mentally, or physically, because I didn't want to let people down no more, and I definitely didn't want to let myself down. When I left the street, I left 5 kids. They're all grown now. They love me. I love them. I had one son that passed away. So I didn't want to let, my people, which I call my grandparents, my parents, my kids, people that love me, I didn't want to let them down. So I began to work on myself. And it starts in prison. I believe that everyone who goes inside those walls, if they do not start their transformation, then when they get out here, it's gonna be more difficult for them.
yeah.
For some people, it might not, but for me, especially doing 29, 30 years, 12 years, 15 years, that's a long time. And everything changes. So as everything changes, we lose that sense of direction. Uh, this is a new world order now. So I knew I had to change because if I didn't, I probably would die.
Yes. That's it's an important thing that I want to visit really quick. You said everything changes. And that is so true. Like when I talk about my own story about coming out into this world that I knew nothing about after, escaping a cult, I didn't know anything about this world. I didn't know about the internet.
Right.
I didn't know, like, I didn't know, like, I didn't know any pop TV. I didn't, right? So talk to me about some of the things that had changed in that 29 years of your incarceration in the world as a whole. I know your children had grown up and
That's a great question. We know for a fact technology had changed. So I had to try my best to, every opportunity I got to try to keep up with technology. So I wouldn't be too lost when I got out. Um, but especially my mindset. My mindset, I had to change my mindset because I feel like if I didn't, I would have came out here and I would have continued to do the same thing I was doing before I left. So I had to change my mindset. So what I did was I started hanging around people like Justin, and other people who had the same vision when it came to changing their mindset to do what's right. It's also to help others, who's coming in and trying to change their mindset. So it was something like a cult, I'm saying, a little bit, but it was like it was like everybody was helping everybody grow. Everybody was helping everybody stay accountable, and if you feel like if you're someone's friend, you're gonna hold them accountable. So that's what we used to do. We used to hold each other accountable, especially when we were doing wrong. We held each other accountable, and I think that's what helped me a whole lot. I threw that pride away, and I was able to take constructive criticism. And when I did that, my whole world started to open up. My mind started to open up. I started working out. I started doing things spiritually. I started this, I just started seeking life. I realized that life was more beautiful than the things I was doing before.
so basically what I'm hearing you say is you wanted to live.
I wanted to live. I really wanted to live, and not just for me,
Right.
but for my family. I wanted to show them that my grandparents had passed away since I was in prison. My parents passed away, so when I came back out here, I really was by myself. But the beautiful thing about it, I went to their grave, right, their grave site, and when I went to their grave site, I got the opportunity to say, but I truly believe that the dead here. And I said, Grandma, Grandpa, I made it out. And I'm definitely not the same person that I am now.
And
Because
I'm never going back.
I'm
Yep.
never going back. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So yeah. So it was a beautiful thing.
That is beautiful. So what are some of the things that you used and started doing in prison to change that mindset? Because as a coach, like this is what I do to help, people change mindset habits, release trauma, release pain, those types of things. I know what it takes and it's
Right.
not easy. So what are the things that you were doing in prison because you don't have access to the modalities that I did, like neurofeedback, biofeedback, hypnotherapy, things like that. So what are the kinds of things that you used while in prison to change your mindset to step into this man that you wanted to become?
I read a lot of books.
Mm.
As I said earlier, I hung around people that doing a lot of positive things in prison. Um, Whatever I could grab on that helped me with my journey of this new life that I was grabbing hold to, that's what I wanted to do. Especially reading a lot of books. I read so many books. I can't even name all the books I've read. Um, I talked to people like Justin all the time. I talked to more fellas that was incarcerated with me. Um, I just did. I participated in a lot of stuff that was going on in the prison system to help me change. And then I talked to a lot. Matter of fact, they had like counselors that you could talk to. I talked to a lot of counselors, and I just did a lot of things that whatever it took for me or stay positive, I did.
Edward, this is phenomenal because we don't hear about this side of prison, right? Like
Right.
we don't hear about men or women that are incarcerated that are like, regardless of their sentence, are trying to make their life better, that are trying to improve their mindset, that is trying to change their mindset, right? Like we hear all the bad stuff about inmates and about incarceration and things like that. So this is wow, this is
Right.
amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that this is where Wounded Healers was born.
Yes, it was. And I'm glad you said that because I can remember, while I was in prison, I was in this place called Orange Correctional Facility. And at Orange Correctional Facility, they had a JC, and they had a yoke fella there. And so the yoke fella is where a lot of people come together, whether you Muslim, Christian, or whatever you may be. And you just, you communicate, you fellowship.
Mm.
And I had grown a lot of support, coming into those doors. And I knew a lot of people. There was Quakers, there was Muslims, there was Christians. And at the time, I had a older guy named Tom who should take me out on passes. And passes consist of when you are levels like level 2 or level 3, you could go out on passes. And me and Tom used to take me out all the time in the community for 6 hours. And we go to the library, we go to the to Walmart, whatever, we go anywhere. We might stop down the street and just talk. So I was just telling Tom one day, we was talking, I said, you know what? Um, my support system is real vast, big support system. Um, I want to start doing something for other people that's coming out of prison. What do you think we should do? Or how could we formulate an organization that can help others within their transition coming out of prison? And he was like, oh no, what do you think we should do? I said, man, I want to be able to help others. I'm getting out soon because at the time I had like a year left.
Mm.
I was ready to go, but I was also ready to do something for others. And also I was leaving behind a lot of people that I knew that had good hearts, that changed their life around, that didn't have the support that I had. And I wanted to be able to be at their door like I had
Mm.
when they get out with a package for them, some resources for them, and hopefully somewhere to stay. So we formulated Woody Healers, what you see back here. We it's a nonprofit organization. We help individuals, whether they female or male, come out of incarceration with the right resources to be able to reacclimate back into the community. I like to say the community because they all come into a community near us. People like to say society, but I like to say the community because that's what
You
that's what we
provide for
right,
them. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. You're providing that for them. That's amazing. That's beautiful. And I love when God puts something on our heart that says, this is what you were made for. You had to go through the things that you had to in order to get to the thing that God had called you to do. Right.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's always crazy to me how we have to go through hell, right, to find who God has really created us to be. And we lose our way along our way, right, going through hell. And
Yeah,
we go through these ebbs and flows and we learn these things, and some of us don't learn those things, right, and some of us because the recidivism rate of people that have been incarcerated for 29 years is, I can't remember what Justin said, but it was very high.
it's high.
Right.
Yeah,
And so for you to come out and say, I am never going back, and this is why, and I'm going to give back to ensure that I never go back.
yeah, yeah. And the beautiful thing about that, I got out, I got married. Um, my wife, we together, and she's a beautiful woman. She's doing her best to help other young women that's coming out too, with her little business she got going on because she sell paparazzi jewelry. So she tried to help other women, show them how that, you might don't make a lot, but it's something to keep you busy.
Mm.
It's something to keep you busy. So because I knew that, growing up in the streets of New York, we didn't have mentors that helped us with the pain, help us with making good decisions. They led us in the wrong direction. We didn't have to do the things we done, right? So, but we did do that. We allowed the streets to influence us. So I'm one who's coming out of prison, doing 29 years, hoping to help someone do the right thing and show them that it can be done. It's not that hard. We think things is hard, but it's not that hard. You know what I'm saying? We to do good is not that hard. First thing we say is, man, it's hard to do good. It's not. It's not. Just do it. It was so easy to do wrong, and we did it. What's so hard about doing right?
It's the mindset, right? It's the
Mine.
mindset.
That's what I was saying earlier.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you go from growing up with no leadership, no good example, basically, doing all the things that you shouldn't have, but you didn't have any guidance. You didn't have anybody that was in your corner trying to guide and direct you, right? Like the streets were your example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say this right here. I had a grandfather. Don't get me wrong. My grandfather, hands down, to me, was one of the best grandfathers a person can have. Right. My grandfather showed me how to be a man physically, but
Mm.
verbally, he didn't show me how to be a man. You know what I mean? So when I went to the streets, they did both. They showed me how to do what I was doing in the streets, but they verbally showed me. So that's why with my grandson now, I try to show him how to be a man physically, and I try to show him how to be a man verbally. Like when he doing something wrong, I tell him, look, that's wrong. And when he asks me why that's wrong, I explain that to him why it's wrong. See, back in those days, they tell you don't do that, and that was it. And
Or
I
you
think,
got to switch or a
yeah,
paddle
yeah,
or
yeah. So I think that that's what a lot of youths are missing today. That we don't verbally talk to them. We yell at them, we scream at them and stuff like that. But if you sit them down and you talk to them and you tell them exactly why they shouldn't do what they're doing, to give them a better understanding of why. And that's what I do with my grandsons and some of the youth that I mentor, because I do mentor youth too. I talk to them. I don't yell at them, scream at them. I show them how to do it.
I just remember you and I had a brief conversation on the phone, and one of the things that we talked about was ending the generational curse, right?
Yes.
And you just spoke basically about it without using those words, right? Like your grandfather, even though he's a positive role model in your mind, right? He did something that didn't serve you or prepare you for what you were going to face. And now you're trying to do different with your grandson to ensure that you're ending that generational curse here with you. And so
Yeah.
that it's not passed on to your next generation.
Right.
That's huge. And so often we go through life never recognizing that we are inflicting our pain that was inflicted on us
Mhm.
on the next generation, right? And that's why we yell, we scream, we just become our parents or whoever raised us, or we take our pain out and put it on the next generation. So it's so huge that not only do you recognize that, but you're doing something about that. And then to further that, to be able to pass that on to the people that you get to help through Wounded Healers,
Right.
which is it's amazing. Something that really grabbed me was I envision people coming out of prison that you've made contact with, that are being released. And I have this I have this picture in my head of you standing there with a box of goodies and them just having the biggest smile on their face and running towards you because they know that you're there for them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's just so heartwarming.
Yeah. And I told, well, I didn't tell, I shared with a lot of guys on the day that I was released that I might be gone, but I'm still here with you guys. And to the day, I still get phone calls from prison to the day, um, looking for some type of resource, whether it's housing, whether it's job placement, whether it's education. And I try my best before they get out to help them be able to get those things that are going to help them with their transition. And if I can't, I will point them in the right direction. But at this time now, we trying to get it where we could go inside the prison and prepare them before they even get out. So that'd be more better for them than try to wait till the day they get out. It's kind of harder when you're coming out and you don't have nowhere to go. So, but if we could get inside the prison and we could talk to them 6 months, a year before they get out, that would be great. And that's what we're in the process of doing now. We are restructuring our whole bylaws. Excuse me. And what we are doing now, we just restructuring the whole paperwork. So it will be in line with what the prison also need as well. So it will be a safe place for us to go in and a safe place for the guys and females at the prison system and a safe place for the people that work there too. You know what I'm saying? So we're trying to just collaborate with them in a way that everybody be on the same board, the same level. There's no situation going on. So, it's hard because when you've been in prison and you get out, the people that work there still got a kind of like an eye, like, I don't know,
I'm watching
they're
you.
watching you. So I'm
Yeah,
just trying to make it more safer for everybody when we go inside those doors.
right. And so how long has Wounded Healers been around?
About 10 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I said, it started before I even got out. It was a vision when I was in there. A few guys that I know took it back out into the streets, along with the guy that I talked to named Tom, and they boots on the ground. They start working. and they created it. And when I got out, I just fell right into the program. And now I'm in the process of being the ED of the program, um, because it was my vision, but it was our vision as a whole.
Right.
But, yeah, so it's up and running, and we're trying our best to help every individual. I'm talking about all individuals, if we can. Because it's like if you can save one, it's like you save the whole world. Because that one gonna save somebody else too.
Yep. Leave
Justin,
the 99 for the one.
yeah, Justin's on the board with us too.
Oh,
He's on,
wow. I didn't
yeah,
know that.
yeah, he's on the
Okay.
board. Yeah.
Justin doesn't brag on himself very often, so I love
Yeah,
that. That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
So what's in front of you? What are you looking forward to? How are you expanding? What are you actively looking to do as you move forward?
I'm looking to have wounded healers because this is my passion. I'm looking to have wounded healers in every state I can have it in,
Mm,
helping each and every individual, whether they're male or female, come out with the right resources to be able to reacclimate back into the community. My goal and my vision is to help stop the recidivism. That's my goal. You know what I mean? That's my passion. That's my vision. Um, I'm not really a talker. I'm a visionary. You know what I mean? I'm the one who thinks about it and then take it to others and say, look, this is what I'm thinking right here. Help me create this right here. So people like Justin, other people that I know, they're the talkers. They're the one who get us in the doors.
right, right. Well, I'm sure with as much as you read in prison, like everything starts with a thought,
Yeah,
right? And then it becomes our words, and then that becomes our reality.
yeah,
So we need the visionary. We need the person that can be thinking it all up and creating. And then, you don't have, God doesn't say you have to do everything. You just
right.
have to do what he created you to do. And then he'll put you where you need to be for that to be executed. And
Yeah,
I love that. I love that. That's amazing how you've drawn this community around yourself to help take this vision out to the world.
yeah.
So are we just in North Carolina right now, or are we in other states as well?
Yep, we're just in North Carolina right now. Durham, Raleigh, and Chapel Hill for right
Okay.
now. Yeah, for
Okay.
right now. So like I said, I get calls from everybody, even calls from out of state sometimes. It's kind of harder for me to work with the people that's out of state because I don't know their system like that. And that's one of the things I'm in the process of doing, trying to learn different systems and how they work. Because when you're in another state, their whole system, their whole process is different.
Right.
So I was working with two guys from out of state, one in DC, and I think one was in Florida. Just try to get them housing here. And I was able to connect one of them, I think it was Florida, to someone here in housing here at a transitional house. So I mean, we're gonna expand, but right now we're just gonna deal with North Carolina right now.
Well, from your mouth to God's ears, that this becomes a national brand, right? That because what you're doing is incredible. And the recidivism rate would go down drastically if the people that came out of prison were supported in this way and could step into community. Because, as you know, Edward, we're not meant to do life alone. We're
No,
meant to do life in community. God did not
yes,
connect, God did not create us to live in an ivory tower and do life by ourselves. We are meant to do life in community. So if we could encapsulate and embrace people that come out of prison after whatever amount of time of incarceration and we could embrace them, we could that I mean that's genius. And
yeah,
it's like I feel like that's God's heart
yeah,
is for his people, right? Like God doesn't want to send them back people sent back to prison.
yeah,
Their
that's right.
choices send them back to prison, right?
That's right. That's
So
right.
what you're doing is incredibly important, incredibly powerful. And I'm so proud to know you. And I'm so excited to see what happens next because it all starts with our thoughts and then our words. And you're putting it out there. You're saying, God, we're ready. Let's do this.
That's right. That's right. Every day I pray. I pray to God every day to direct my path, show me the way, and be that guide for me. Because I know I can't do it by myself, and I let him know that every single morning I need your help. Because it's people out there that's counting on me. So I need you to guide me in the right direction to help me. Because I look back at my life and I look back, all the things I have done, all the communities that I have took from with the activity that I have brought into the community. And now that I'm able to put the good back in the community, it makes me feel so good. I could get up in the morning now and look in the mirror and like the person that I see. Verse then when I was coming up, doing the things that I was doing, and look in the mirror and couldn't stand the person that I saw. But I still continue to wallow in that same stuff though, you know. So I know that now that this is who I'm supposed to be right here. That's the
Yes.
person there.
Yes, Edward, it feels like you took a page out of my book because I talk about that. I talk about looking in the mirror and hating the person in the reflection that's looking back at you. But you have to hate it so much that you say, I'm never going to be that again,
Never,
right? And
never.
then you make choices that are different so that you can look at yourself differently, right? Because those are choices. The reflection doesn't change, but the heart behind the reflection is what changes.
Right.
So all of this is amazing, but where did you find the strength? Where did you find the resilience? Where did you find your identity in how to escape this, what could have been your whole life?
You know what? I'm glad you asked me that because I can remember being in the county jail, right? And when I got my time, a gentleman came up to me and said, "Man, I heard you got your time, man. I'm so sorry for that, man." He said, "I'm gonna give you some pointers because I've been in jail 3 or 4 times, right?" He said he told me to do some certain. I'm not gonna say what he told me to do. Um, so I thought about that when I went to prison from the county jail. I laid down that night and I thought about what he said. And I said, he said he'd been in jail 3 or 4 times. So why would I do the things that he just said to do? And he'd been in jail 2 or 3 times already. So when I didn't do the things he told me to do, I knew right then and there that I had to begin to work on myself to be able to come out the person I came out today. Because if I did do what he told me to do, I'd have been a part of the system.
Yep.
And I'm so glad I did because I didn't want to be a part of that system. I hated being there. And I was there for 29 years. Hope what got me through them gates.
Mm,
If I didn't have hope, I would have never walked through them gates. If I didn't
mm,
believe that one day the God was going to set me free, I would
mm.
have never walked at them gates. That's why I love the story of
Amen.
Moses. I love the story when he said, "Let my people go." You know what I'm saying? So during COVID, I got to tell you this story right here before we get off though. I had got parole, but I didn't. When they told me I had got parole, I didn't leave yet. I supposed to have left like another year after they told me I had parole. No, I'm sorry, another 2 years after I had parole. So COVID came, and when COVID came, I would release 6 months. I would release 6 months early before my 2 years. I didn't even do the whole 2 years. I did 6 months, and they released me. So I was so happy. I knew that God was telling me that it was time for you to do your work.
Mm.
Not the 2 years. I'm gonna let you go six months instead of 2 years. I'm gonna let you go. It's
But God,
yeah, it's time
but
for you to do your
God.
work. And I was so thankful to be able to get out them gates after 29 years. It's
Hope.
been rough. It's been a rough road, but I'm thankful though.
I'm so proud of you, and I'm so grateful that you agreed to come on the show and share your heart, share your story, because there's a power that comes in sharing our story because it gives somebody else permission to share theirs. And that's how we change the world. That's how we spread hope. That's how we spread the love of God, right? Is by sharing. So I want to thank you so much for coming on. And I always end with the same question every show. And that question is, Edward, what does it mean for you to let your glory shine?
Wow, that's a good story. I think what it means to me to let my glory shine is to continue to do what I'm doing. And I think as long as I continue to do what I'm doing, my glory will shine.
Yes. Yes. And praise God. Thank you so much again for coming on the show, Edward. This has been an absolute pleasure. And until I get to meet you in person, I'll send you virtual hugs. And I hope I get to meet you in person very soon.
It's very, very so. Thank you for having me. I hope that everybody tap into Wounded Healers is WOUNDEDHEALERSNC@gmail.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And I'll make sure that goes in the show notes as well. So thank you so much for being here. And until next time, let your glory shine. Good night.
Let glory shine from the ashes I rise. Every scar a story, every tear baptized. This is my freedom, this is my climb. Let glory shine, it's the power inside. This is your prosperity era, where dreams align.
We hope you enjoyed today's show on Prospera TV Network. Make it a point to visit us on YouTube and catch all your favorite shows anytime you want. Interested in hosting a show of your own? Or advertising your business on our network? Contact Elena Rodriguez.